Before we get into the preview, guys, let me just say we've got a Patreon and a Discord. You can join the Patreon for free, but you can also join it if you want to become a paid member and support the content around here. You can join the Discord absolutely for free, and there are Patreon paid rooms in there where we're doing very special stuff anyway, such as podcast questions, video suggestions, and just general chat when I'm around. So yeah, it's interesting. If you'd like to support us, obviously, it's great for us to be able to break away from just the YouTube monetization model and have a dedicated audience. I'd love to know what you guys see and think about that. Let me know in the comments below, or get in the Discord, get in the Patreon, and see you guys over there. Welcome back to the Lawrence McKenna channel on LFC, where we're talking about Liverpool away at Fulham in the second leg of the EFL Cup, and there is plenty to talk about in either squad. This was the team that started the last game. You can see there's a couple of academy graduates in there. Well, Connor Bradley, Curtis Jones. Does Carly Elliott count as an academy graduate? And Joe Gomez has always been a young guy as far as I'm concerned. Kelleher, of course, is a young guy, but I'm not sure he counts as an academy in the same way. Like, you get what I'm saying here. Like, there's people who are a little bit older in the side, people who are a bit younger. You can basically see the progress of this Liverpool side. And what I'm really getting at here is that broadly this season, no matter who Liverpool have been playing or who they've had in their side, they've tried to play these principles and ideas which are now Jurgen Klopp 2.0. I know we've seen it's Jurgen Klopp 2.0. I think it's more like Jurgen Klopp 10.0. But the point is, this side are currently playing a style of football which looks more like a shape like this. So really two centre-backs, two people bombing on down the wings, kind of quite a congested midfield, but generally one person sitting, two people either side, just to kind of keep those passes going. They make different passes to the way that the two previous eights make, and then a front three / front four, depending on what you term certain people as. Now, with all of that, that won Liverpool the game against Fulham in the first leg, where they brought on Núñez and Gakpo and completely changed the shape towards the end of the second half. This was against a side who are really technically brilliant. Willian, Pereira, Jimenez, Paulinho, even Harrison Reed, the two fullbacks, all players who are very capable of unlocking a side with their technical ability, and especially under a manager who is very good at unlocking his side and their technical ability. They were willing to sit deep, break on Liverpool, and you know what? Because of the technical ability of people like Willian being able to capitalise on a moment and a mistake from Virgil van Dijk, probably the only moment of mistake in the whole game from any of those central defenders, it basically created this idea that Fulham were equal to Liverpool in that game. Now, Fulham had less possession, they had about a third of the shots. You know, they were giving Liverpool a game in the sense that we sure knew that Fulham what they wanted to achieve was possible, but Liverpool were just so almost casually dominant in that game, and you can see that from the average positions. I mean, look, the two centre-backs were almost up at the halfway line. People almost overlooked that Liverpool were that good. Like, Kelleher's average position is out of his box. The point being, we probably won't see that same game, although we will see elements of that in the second leg. We'll still see the youth. We'll still see the forward thinking. We'll still see Liverpool trying to control things. We'll still see Liverpool trying to kill it off with the opposition crowd. We know that Fulham need to come out and get a goal. We know that Fulham need to impress at home. We know that, broadly, Liverpool have got a situation which tactically should play into their hands, right? First of all, I do want to shout out the fact that in the last game, obviously, Curtis Jones scored a deflected goal, so it's not like Liverpool scored every goal as some sort of pure, brilliant, moment of genius, although it was still a good goal. And Gakpo's finish was fantastic. Like, Cody Gakpo is, I don't want to say he's an elite finisher because I don't think he always shows that, but when he does finish, boy, is there like something on that. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, those two kind of came on and saved us to an extent in Núñez and Gakpo. But Liverpool were already very dominant within the game. The issue was more of the placing of the players. Now, in the last game, we would have seen Jota be a bit more central. Diaz would have come over here a little bit more. You possibly would have seen, I mean, it depends on where people play, but like Diaz probably comes a little bit more over there. Elliott comes a little bit more here. If we've got injuries in the midfield, which we do at the moment, maybe Curtis Jones, having picked up the knock, won't play. Maybe a couple of other players, Trent's the like, and even Andy Robertson is still out. Even Thiago's still out. Bajcetic is still out. There's a number of injuries here that we're not acknowledging. But broadly, what you want to see here is Liverpool fielding a similar, not exactly the same, but similar team to the team they played in the last game against Fulham. Not necessarily the same one that played Bournemouth. Why? Well, because the principles still remain the same. Jota will still start. Diaz is still going to be there. The movement and the guile and the smarts of those guys, I think, is what's going to win Liverpool this game, or should win Liverpool this game if they play the way they're meant to. I think they may play Cody Gakpo from the start of this game. I think that changes things a little bit, partially because we probably won't play Curtis Jones. He's picked up a knock. We need someone in midfield who can carry the ball forward and kind of be a bit more responsible, possibly a bit less of a striker, a bit more of a midfielder. That's definitely a Cody Gakpo. And we also need someone who's able to work in tandem with Joe Gomez. And I think Cody's probably capable of doing that. We may also see that because we might see Diaz shift over to this side. We may also, by the way, see that Gravenberch goes over there. So he goes there. He shifts back there. Nunez shifts over there. Diaz shifts over there. And then Nunez shifts over there. So that's a big rotation, basically everyone rotating around one position and then Nunez just slotting in. But that might also be a smart way to do it. Nunez seemed to be really good on the wing. We saw that in a lot of my reviews on this channel. And we saw he's a pretty good outlet down that side for Liverpool in general. And obviously, we really enjoyed his combination play, with the Liverpool midfield, but also with Diogo Jota in the last game. He just sort of ran through and was very much one of these central offerings, should we say. Not only that, but that also gives those two the option to switch. Because Jota can go out to the left wing, Jota can also go out to the right wing, Jota can also come centrally. Jota's the heroing of what Jota can do in this front three in this team is almost underestimated. And I feel like we do underestimate Jota still. Opposition won't. And, people can say all they want in commentary we always thought he was good. A lot of people didn't respect him. A lot of people didn't give him the flowers that he deserved at the point where he is a fantastic player. But at the point where he was actually doing a lot of this before it got acknowledged. And a lot of people thought Liverpool didn't have the depth that they have clearly shown they have in someone like a Jota. Broadly, Fulham are going to try to counter-attack. You saw in the last game the way that they were acting. You saw that Jimenez and I think it's, who's playing? It is. Pereira and Jimenez are that kind of front two. Pereira obviously on the average positions looks a little bit further forward, but that was more just because of where he was getting his touches, how Jimenez likes to play, get the ball, play it off, get the ball, play it off. Liverpool won't like that very much. Great way of Fulham breaking the press. And also, obviously, it's a great way of them bringing in the wingers in someone like Anthony Robertson or Castagna. So, put it this way, I saw them play Chelsea and it was a pretty flat game. But that was because Chelsea are very good at deading games at the moment. Liverpool aren't going to try and dead this game. They will be fairly hands-offish early on, similar to the way they were against Bournemouth. They're going to try and kill the atmosphere. They're not going to try and dead the whole game. Fulham will come onto them. Liverpool will try to counter-attack. Liverpool are going to want to put it beyond Fulham and basically get to a position where they can have a number of young academy graduates on the field doing what they want to do. Bradley was fantastic in that last game. I don't see why we would drop him at this point. Joe Gomez, again, fantastic at left back. He actually had the highest rating in our back line of all of the fans in the last game. Curtis Jones is fantastic. I don't think he'll play this game. I think Ryan Gravenberch, and I think we might see Harvey Elliott drop back into the midfield or Cody Gakpo start. And then on top of that, I also think that we probably won't see Alisson come in for Kelleher. We probably will see Konate and Van Dijk. And why change McAllister out when he's had such a great impact after that last game against Bournemouth, where he was just picking balls off between the lines and just watching people get it, turn, and instantly they're through on goal. That's what McAllister was fantastic at. I'm surprised he didn't have a higher rating in that last Bournemouth game, actually. He was basically man of the match. Didn't quite have the same effect. Now, this is where it didn't quite have the same effect against Fulham. A lot of the time, Fulham obviously did this. Like, they were kind of sitting people in this area. No, that's too far, sorry. In this area and kind of overloading that Liverpool midfield, trying to get them a bit on the back foot in order to get the ball then back out wide, pull Liverpool wide, create a gap in the middle there, and essentially pull people like Conor Bradley around, who then came back in, was left to be covering for the goal, or pull people like Joe Gomez back in and leave a lot of space here so that people like Gomez and also someone like Conor Bradley cannot cover the areas that they need to cover. Because guess what? Against Arsenal, Liverpool negated the Arsenal issues from the side. Guess what? Against Bournemouth, Liverpool negated what Bournemouth did from the side. We're going to see a lot more in this game, I think, of Fulham trying to attack this area, get someone like Willian into this kind of area and pummel, try to get shots in on goal, try to get some just pressure on the Liverpool goalkeeper because they didn't do it enough in the last game against Kevin Kelleher. And I think broadly, we're going to see Liverpool try to back up what you would consider to be one of their more weaker positions in a Kelleher or someone like that. And essentially try and stop the issue before it even is created. I'm going to be at the game, so I can't actually stream it. There will be people in my Discord, there will be people on my Patreon having a chat around all of this. So if you're interested, go and take a look at it. We'd love to have you there. It's a really good Discord and Patreon that's coming together. It is a bit creative, but it's also a bit of football. It's also got little bits in between. Really interested to see what you guys think of it. And I'll chat to you again right here on this channel in a little while. Much love.